Shalom, and welcome once again to Elders of GMS, giving all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Today's topic is a continuation from last week's topic and the topic from the week before, which is entitled The Book of Revelation. Understanding the Book of Revelation. Let me say it again. Understanding the Book of Revelation. And last week we did chapters 10, 11, and 12. This week we're going to go over chapters 13, 14, 15, and if we have time, we'll go into chapter 16, which I don't think we're going to have time to do because a lot of stuff should come out. So, we're going to go right into it.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
Yeah, so we're going to go through it again, and we're going to break it down.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea.
Now the sea represent peoples, nations, tongues, kings. You can get that in Revelation 17. I believe it's Revelation 17, 15, if I'm not mistaken. Go ahead and read that.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
Yeah, so it's twofold. It means the peoples of the earth, because this beast is not an actual beast. It's an actual group of mighty nations. In this case, it's the Edomite nations, so-called European nations, coming together in a military, political / military unit to take down other dark nations, namely the children of Israel. So they came out of the nation. They were people. In other words, this wasn't an actual monster. This wasn't a being from another planet. And the sea also represents the actual sea, because the visions that John the Revelator saw, he was surrounded by the sea, because he was on an island. All right. And this, now, for you to understand Revelation the 13th chapter, you would also have the same understanding for Daniel the 7th chapter, because it says the same thing. The difference between the book of Daniel the 7th chapter and Revelation the 13th chapter is that in Daniel the 7th chapter, it speaks about these other nations, or in the name of other beasts, as being part of the dark nations and the Greeks. So this beast that John saw represented the Roman Empire, and then going forward into the future, it represents the NATO system, which I spoke about many times. The NATO system, the EU system, and America is a part of NATO, a member of NATO, and they go hand in hand with each other. America, NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the EU, a European Union. All right, so let's read it again.
It says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Yeah, now the leopard represents Alexander the Greek. If you go to Daniel the 8th chapter, let's go to Daniel the 8th chapter, and let's start from the top.
Daniel chapter 8, verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel.
Yeah, Belshazzar represented the Babylonians, the ancient Babylonians, which were Cushites. Go ahead.
It says, even unto me, Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw, that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. Then I lifted up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns. And the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other. And
yeah, that represents the Medo-Persian Empire. These were 2 separate kingdoms, 2 separate nations coming together as one. The Persians are the people of Iran today, because the term Iran came about, I believe it was 1935. It was either the Shah of Iran or the father that went before, I believe it was the UN, and said, I don't know if it was the 50s, I don't know the exact, you can look it up, just Google the word Iran. When did they receive the name Iran? Because I think it had something to do with them going before the UN years later and saying that we want to be called the people of Iran instead of the Persians. Well, anyway, you had the Persians, and then you had the Medes. The Medes were the sons of Japhet, which were dark-skinned people. The Persians were also dark-skinned people. They were two different nations. The Persians came out of the line of Shem. The Medes came out of the line of Japhet. All right, you got anything, Ak?
Yeah, this is from a website called answers.com. The question is, when did Persia become Iran? It says, during ancient times, almost every foreigner referred to the entire country as Persia until March 21st, 1935, when Reza Shah Pahlavi asked the international community to call the country Iran, a name that the people of Persia themselves used to refer to their country since the Sasanian period. Iran means land of the Aryans. The name Persia is still widely used by many Iranians, pronounced Iranian, worldwide, as well as in many books, documentary, and movies.
Yeah, they didn't actually go to the UN. The UN wasn't gathered yet. That was before the UN. But I think they, when the UN was gathered, it was when they received their seat. They received their seat under the name of Iran. So they were recognized by the international community as the people of Iran. All right. Then you had the Medes, which was one of the sons of Japhet. When you go to the Table of Nations and Genesis, the 10th chapter, it mentions the Medes. So these were two separate nations, two different nations that came together to set up a new empire. Prior to that was the Babylonians. So the Babylonians fell, and the Medo-Persian Empire came in its stead. And I said one horn was higher than the other. That represented the Persians because the Persians became greater than the Medes. All right, you got it.
It says, then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had two horns, and the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. I saw.
Right, the higher came up last, which were the Persians. Go ahead.
It says, I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him.
Read that again.
I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him.
Why didn't it say eastward? Because the Medo-Persian Empire came from the east. It mentioned Elam. The original name of the East Indians, when the Pakistani East Indians, that region, that vast region of land, was at one time known as the land of Elam. So they started that kingdom or that empire in the east, and they pushed westward, they pushed northward, and they pushed down to the south. Now, this is history, right? This is ancient history. So you go around, you have people saying that I don't believe the Bible is a fairy tale. Well, these historians, these archaeologists, they all believe in the Bible. They all believe in the Bible. They all know the Bible to be true, because the Bible is one of their reference books. That's why on the Discovery Channel, when they have their specials of the ancient world and the History Channel, they always revert back to the scriptures, and they quote scriptures. And they show you the archaeological digs that they made in that region of land. Then they'll back it up with the scriptures. Go ahead.
It says, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand.
Yeah, because it was an empire. It was mighty that every nation round about them would feared them. Go ahead.
Let me say this real quick. And then it was back then. It was said that it was insane to go up against the Persian Empire.
Yeah, they had told there's a movie come out. Well, there was two movies. The older movie that came out sometime in the 50s, I think it was actually called Alexander the Great, and the lead character was played by this guy Richard Burton. And they showed in that movie, like I said, it's an old movie. If you can get it, it's a good movie. They showed in the movie the Medo-Persians, and they showed them to look dark skinned. So that shows you the people that put that movie together. They had historians on the payroll, so to speak, and they told them no, the Medo-Persians was a dark nation. There were two dark nations. Go ahead.
It says, but he did according to his will, and became great. And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat.
Right. He did according to his will and became great. He became great. Oh, matter of fact, you got the Bible dictionary? So I want to get a little history of the Persians and the Medes. Either or both. Can you get the other one too? All right. Do I have mine right there? Mine should be over there. If not, I gotta look for it. Well, I gotta look for it. All right. Well, we're in school, man. You know, like you Negroes, you like to go see the so-called white man in his college classes and shit with the that jacket with the patches on it. Well, you ain't gonna see us with jackets with patches on the bad boy, right? Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 26. A cheerful countenance is a token of a heart that is in prosperity, and the finding out of parables is a wearisome labor of the mind.
Yeah, because you got people out there that watches on YouTube or the different sites, and they don't want to do all this digging. I mean, there's not a lot of digging, you know. That's why it's called research, because it was searched out already, so we're researching it, all right? So go to this one first, and then go to the Zandavins. You can go to Medes or Medes and Persians, whatever, however it's written out, however it's worded. All right, let's see what that says.
All right, this is the Harper's Bible Dictionary on page 618 under Media or Medes. All right, it says the names of a place and people often associated with that of Persia, especially in the books of Esther and Daniel. Media became a province of the Persian Empire in 549 BC, when the Median overlord was conquered by Cyrus the Great. The area of Media appears as one to which deportees...
Look up the word Cyrus or Cyrus the Great, and then we're going to go back to that. Now, Cyrus the Great had to be a Persian. That's why it said one became greater than the other. It should either say Cyrus or Cyrus the Great.
I got Cyrus the second here. Akkadian, a Persian emperor and founder of the Achaemenid dynasty, ruled Babylonia 539 to 530 BC. His name occurs 22 times in the Bible, in the books of Daniel, Ezra, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, and Isaiah. Extra biblical evidence comes from the classical Greek authors Herodotus and Xenophon. It says, though their reports are often encrusted with legends, as well as cuneiform records. From the later, we learn that Cyrus' ancestors was Tiespes of Anshan. Cyrus' grandfather was named Cyrus. His father, Cambyses the first. His mother, Mandane, was a daughter of the Median king Astyages. Cyrus is therefore known to moderns as Cyrus II. Cyrus II's son, who ruled Babylon from 530 to 522 BC, was Cambyses II. Cyrus's capital was Pasargadae in what is now southern Iran. Cyrus's military victory.
So that proves that the original name of the people of Iran was known as the Persians. Go back to where we left off.
It says back in Media, it says when the Median overlord, Media became a province of the Persian Empire in 549 BC. That's when they both merged. It says, when the Median overlord was conquered by Cyrus the Great, the area of Media appears as one to which deportees from the northern kingdom were taken in 722 BC, 2 Kings 17:6 and 18:11. Ecbatana, the Median capital, located some 400 miles north of the Persian Gulf, became one of the administrative centers of the Persian Empire, Ezra 6 and 2. In the stories related in the book of Esther and in Daniel 5 and 6, the laws of Medes and Persians are described as unalterable. An example, Esther 1:19, Daniel 5:28, a description that is evidently a folktale motif related to the prohibition on altering laws found in numerous ancient legal texts. Gives you some more scriptures. It says the Medes appear as the divine instrument of judgment on Babylon in Isaiah 13:17, and they give you other scriptures also. Also with Elam, a picture of total judgment on Babylon at the hands of all the nations. Daniel 5:31, 9 and 1 and 11 and 1 introduce a kingdom.
And it wasn't by the hand of all the nations. It was by the hands of two nations that gathered into one, the Medo-Persian Empire. When the modern Babylon, America goes down, there's going to be many nations. All right? So I think that's that on that. Unless you guys give me Persia a little bit.
All right, this is Persia, an empire that at its height stretched from Greece in the west to India in the east. The Persian Empire came into being with the victories of Cyrus the Great over the Median overlord circa 550 BC and lasted until the conquest of Alexander the Great circa 330 BC. The origin and original locality of the ancestors of the Persians remains uncertain. Links with Parsua, south of Lake Ormaya, some 175 miles west of the southern end of the Caspian Sea, are possible, but more probable are those with Persis, east of the Persian Gulf, where Pasargadae and Persepolis, great centers of empire, were situated. Rulers. The ruler of the empires were Cyrus, king of king of Anshan, circa 560 BC, died 530. Cambyses, 465. Artaxerxes, 465 to 424. Xerxes II, 424. Sogdianos, 424 to 423. Darius II, 423 to 405. Artaxerxes III, Artaxerxes IV, and Darius III. Of these, Cyrus is hailed as a chosen deliverer of the Jews from Babylon. My shepherd, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so we got something else. We just wanted to look up something right quick. What year do you see there that he ruled? Okay, you can read a little bit on that.
Yeah, this is from Wikipedia. Oh, okay, I can. Okay. All right. This is from Wikipedia. It's called Battle of Thermopylae. It says the Battle of Thermopylae was fought between an alliance of Greek city-states led by Athenian general Themistocles and the Persian Empire of Xerxes I over the course of 3 days during the Second Persian invasion of Greece. It took place simultaneously with the naval battle of Artemisium in August or September of 480 BC at the pass of Thermopylae, which means the hot gates. The Persian invasion was a delayed response to the defeat of the first Persian invasion of Greece, which had been ended by the Athenian victory at the Battle of Marathon. Xerxes had amassed a huge army and navy and set out to conquer all of Greece. The Athenian general Themistocles had proposed that the allied Greeks block the advance of the Persian army at the pass of Thermopylae and simultaneously block the Persian navy at the Straits of Artemisium. A Greek force of approximately 7,000 men marched north to block the pass in the summer of 480 BC. The Persian army, alleged by the ancient sources to have numbered over 1 million, but today considered to be much smaller. Various figures are given by scholars ranging between 100,000 and 300,000. Arrived at the pass in late August or early September, vastly outnumbered, the Greeks held off the Persians for 7 days in total, including 3 of battle, before the rear guard was annihilated in one of history's most famous last stands. During 2 full days of battle, the small force led by King Leonidas I of Sparta blocked the only road by which the massive Persian army could pass. After the second day of battle, a local resident named Ephaltes betrayed the Greeks by revealing a small path that led between the Greek lines. Aware that his force was being outflanked, Leonidas dismissed the bulk of the Greek army and remained to guard the rear with 300 Spartans, 700 Thespasians, 400 Thebans, and perhaps a few hundred others, the vast majority of whom were killed. After this engagement, the Greek navy at Artemisium received news of the defeat at Thermopylae. Since their strategy required both Thermopylae and Artemisium to be held, and given their losses, the Greek navy decided to withdraw to Salamis. The Persians overran Boeotia and then captured the evacuated Athens. However, seeking a decisive victory over the Persian fleet, the Greek fleet attacked and defeated the invaders of the Battle of Salamis in late 480 BC. Fearing to be trapped in Europe, Xerxes withdrew with much of his army to Asia, leaving Mardonius to complete the conquest of Greece. The following year, however, saw a Greek army decisively defeat the Persians at the Battle of Plataea, thereby ending Persian invasion.
There's a lot of big slice of history there. Anyway, I'm pretty sure all of y'all saw that movie, 300, or 300, and that's basically was based upon the Battle of Thermopylae, all right, which means the hot city gates, which they were Jakes, because it said that the leader of that band of 300 was a man by the name of King Leonidas, and he was a king of one of the city-states of Greece, and they held on, but they were defeated. They were all killed, and they showed you that in the movie, and that showed you the great power of the Medo-Persian Empire. Now, when Alexander the Greek came up against this empire, they said, "You crazy? You can't beat these people." But he beat them. Why did he beat them? Because the Most High was with him to take them down. Because the next empire or the next power was supposed to come up, which was the Greeks. All right. All right. So go ahead.
This is back in Daniel chapter 8, verse 5. And I was considering, behold, and as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth.
That's Alexander.
And touched not.
And by the way, he's also known as a leopard. As when we go back to Revelation 13, it's going to mention the leopard if we didn't read it already. So when you go to Daniel the 7th chapter, it speaks about the leopard. Go ahead.
It says, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
That was Alexander.
And he came to the ram that had two horns,
the Medo-Persian Empire,
which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram and brake his two horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him. But he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand.
So we're going to look up the word choler. Daniel 8 and 7. So, like I said, I'm going to say this again. The scholars know that the Bible is a historical document with factual events that took place, that's recorded or scribed in the scriptures. So these top scholars, these top professors, mainly in the field of history and archaeology and anthropology, they know that this Bible is one of the books that have the truth, that possess the truth. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Hebrew word there for kola is marah, which means to be bitter, to show bitterness, to make bitter, embitter, to embitter oneself, to be enraged, to be strong, strengthened. Down here it says, to be bitter, being as being very bitter things, basically the same thing.
Basically, he was passionate about bringing them down. A better word is hate. He had much hate for them, because when one nation take down another nation, they do it with hate. When you take down another nation, you're killing the military, you're chopping heads off, you're gutting people, you're impaling people. If you see their babies, you might kill their babies. You see their women, you'll kill their women. The old men, you'll kill them. You'll take some of their women, you'll rape their women. So war is an act of hate. It's not an act of love. All right, go ahead. Now, hold up. Now, since these guys go around teaching about love, the Lord love everybody, where was the love for the Medo-Persian Empire? Why didn't the Lord come down and show love for them? Because the Greeks, the Most High loved the Most High didn't love no damn Greeks. They're a bunch of damn fairies, a bunch of damn faggots, man. That was prophecy. That's the only reason why, or the main reason why I'll say it that way. The Greeks, Alexander took down the Medo-Persians because the Most High was with him, Alexander the Creep, to take them down to fulfill prophecy. Because it was already, these battles were already written before they even happened. These battles were already written in prophecy before Alexander was even born, before Philip, his father, was even born, before Cyrus was born, before the Medes even got together. The Medes and the Persians even got together. All right, go ahead.
Right, it says, therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up four notable ones toward the four winds of heaven. And out of one of them came forth the little horn, which waxed exceeding great, toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground.
Yeah, this is not talking about the Roman Empire bringing down Israel with Herod. This is not talking about George W. Bush. You know, this is not talking about America. This is talking about Antiochus IV, also known as Antiochus Epiphanes. That's what that's talking about. But it said there were four. When Alexander died at the age of 32, there were four generals up under him. Then there was like a mention of a fifth. You had Antigonus was one of them, but the main four was Lacenaeus, Cassandra, Seleucid, and Ptolemy. And you had a line of the Ptolemies, and you had a line of the Seleucid's line, which were known as the Epiphanies. All right. I'm sorry. You had Antiochus. You had the line of the Antiochus, the Antiochus. Some of the scholars refer to it as Antiochus, named the name given to Antioch. That name goes back to the line of Antioch, Antiochus or Antiochus. We say Antiochus. So you had Antiochus the first, second, third, fourth was Epiphanies, and that's what it's talking about in Daniel the 8th chapter. Okay. Now go to the breakdown. Go to the breakdown of the rams, the two horns, and the goat. Go ahead.
All right, Daniel 8 and 20. The ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia, and the rough goat.
So the scriptures. So you can't say, well, that's not talking about that. That horn represents Satan. It represents Lucifer. It don't represent Satan or it don't represent Lucifer, dumbass. It's telling you right there, just in case you can't get it, the angel broke it down to Daniel. Read it again.
It says, the ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia, and the rough goat is...
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run into them church pastors, and I'm going to ask them to break it down before I get to it. Then when he comes, that's talking about Lucifer. Then I say, okay, let's jump down. Okay, let's see if it says Lucifer. Go ahead.
It says, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia.
Which is, look up the word Grecia. Because you roll up on a nigga and say Grecia. Well, that ain't talking about the Greeks. That's Grecia. So you got the Greeks and you got Grecia. Grecia, Greeks, Grecia. Two different things. Then you're going to run into assholes like that. Let's see what the word Greca means.
Yeah, the word there is the Hebrew word is Yawan, which means Ionia or Greece. And they have son of Japheth and grandson of Noah. Greece, Ionia, Ionians, location of descendants of Yawan. Down here is Greece. Yeah, pretty much.
Now, the people of Yawan came out of the line of Japheth, Yapath, which are dark-skinned people, found in Genesis the 10th chapter. Now, Alexander did not come out of Yawan. He did not come out of the seed or the line of Yapath. He was actually an Edomite, because what Edomites did was they conquered the different worlds around them, like Rome, ancient Rome. That was possessed by the people of Japheth. That's why when you watch these movies, and another thing, you guys out there, you got to watch these period pieces, man. You can't be watching what's the new Negro, but you can't be watching that movie Jumping Over the Broom. That's that new Negro movie. You couldn't pay me to go watch a stupid movie like that. Any of the movies with Tyler Perry, stupid movie for colored girls, you know, don't be watching. I mean, you might have to watch it with your daggone woman because she wants to watch it, you know. But you ain't gonna get into that. You shouldn't get into no movie. If you cry in a movie like that, brother, you might not be one of the elect, you know. Don't let me roll up on you in the movies, man, with some Kleenex crying because you done saw Jumping Over the damn broom. You're supposed to watch these period pieces, man. And you're supposed to look at these period pieces like the movie Alexander the Greek. The newest one was crap, you know, because this guy Oliver Stone, he said, I'm gonna really put all the facts in there. I'm gonna show him that they were faggots. Well, that movie didn't do so good because you made the white man look like a damn faggot, man, which he is anyway. But you wasn't supposed to bring it out. You wasn't supposed to let the world know that you were, in reality, you're a bunch of faggots and pedophiles. But you got to watch these period pieces, man. All right, go ahead.
It says, now that being broken, it says, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, four kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. And in the latter,
yeah, because when you go into the Maccabees and you go into Daniel, the 11th chapter, you go into the Josephus and other history books, historical documents. They were warring against each other to try to get the power seat, all right? Now, they didn't have the power that Alexander had. He had that whole area of land that they had to split into four. So they were basically fighting against each other. Go ahead.
It says, and in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up.
That was one of the four that come out of the line of the four, out of the Seleucid Empire, or the Seleucid dynasty, which means powerful family. That was Antiochus the Fourth, also known as Epiphanes, or Antiochus the Fourth, Antiochus Epiphanes. That's what that's talking about, which we're not even going to get into right now. All right. Now let's go back to Revelation.
Revelation 13:1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a
And the word blasphemy basically means go to that in the blue letter, Revelation 13:1. Look up the word blasphemy. Because you got this guy, Bubble-Eyed Blackfish, talking about there's a group of Edomites that's going to deny their father and choose the Lord. Well, there's no scripture on that. You're adding to the scripture. It said they were going to come in the name of they're going to come blaspheming. They're going to blaspheme the name of the Lord. They're not going to come loving the Lord. They're going to defy the Lord. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Go ahead.
Yeah, Revelation 13:1, the Greek word for blasphemy.
Strong's G 988, blasphemia. Blasphemia.
Which means slander, detraction, speech injurious to another's good name, impious and reproachful speech injurious to divine majesty.
Basically, they're going to have negative things to say about the Most High and be totally against the Most High. Go ahead.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
The leopard represent the Alexander the Greek. That's the beginning of it. Matter of fact, go to Daniel the 7th chapter and go right to the point.
Daniel chapter 7 verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
That's talking about Alexander the Greek, which was a leopard, and the 4 heads represent the 4 generals that came after he died at a young age. And I mentioned them: Lacemaeus, Cassandra, Seleucid, and Ptolemy. All right, go ahead. That's it? Okay, let's go back.
It says, the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Right, the feet of the bear represents the Russians, because what's going to take this system down? The Russians. Go ahead.
It says, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
That represent first and foremost so-called Great Britain. Go ahead.
And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
Right, the dragon represents the Roman Empire. So the system that they're going by today is based upon the ancient Roman system. Go ahead.
And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed.
That's referring to how the Roman Empire came to the point of death, but it rose back up. And it came to the point of death when Jake came up into power. And that started with Septimius Severus. You know, one day we could do a special on the Jakes that took down the Roman Empire. Because they didn't say, okay, we're going to set up a new empire. They kept the Roman Empire going, but they were sitting in the rulership seat. Like another key person right before Constantine the Great was a man by the name of Diocletian. If I have that icon book, I can show you a picture of him. You got it, that green book? It's right there. Speak for a minute.
Right, so this is just to show you that you know, like Elder Tar always says when we go out to speak, or when we do these different lessons, that it's not all about just calling the white man the devil. There's a lot more to the scriptures than that. You know, you have a whole, I mean, you can never run out of topics to go off. Yeah, the information is vast. I mean, I mean, you can go on one particular topic for hours and hours and hours. That's why we have, you know, because we like to get deep into the scriptures, but we have to kind of cut it a little short because for the time's sake, you know, because brothers ain't going to sit there 3, 4, 5 hours, 6 hours going into a lesson. You'll get bored, you know. So that's why, you know, we have to pick and choose the best information to bring out and bring it out to you.
Yeah, because you don't got to go into we're not history professors, man. Where we're gonna go into every aspect of history because history is so vast, man. But we're gonna touch on history, and then if you want to, I do that myself. I choose a key name, and I might want to go deeper into that name of that particular person at that time period and get a whole lot of information. So you ought to do the same thing. All right. This is it right here. Read the caption.
All right. This is Diocletian and his co-regents, group of tetrarchs. Height 51 and an eighth inches from Constantinople, south side of Fascite of St. Mark's, Venice. And it's basically up on the top. It says Constantine and Theodosius, Christian art in Italy. And it says in the year 292.
Hold up. Christian art in Italy. But there were only Edomites up there. There was only white people up there, right? Jake's been up there, man. Jake's been up in Rome, Italy. How you think they took the throne? Because they got up in high offices in the Roman Empire. All right? So here's a picture. You can see a better picture of it, but this is from this book called The Art of the Byzantine World. All right? And that's a picture right there. You see a good shot of it. All right? And this guy, when you read about this guy, Diocletian, man, he basically, instead of using the term draconianism, you should refer to that term as Diocletianism, because he was hard on the Roman people, man. He taxed the hell out of them, and that's where Esau is taxing the hell out of you now, because they got that from the Caesars back there, but mainly from this guy, man. They were taxing them he was taxing them Romans so bad, when they moved out of their region, he ordered them to come back. He said, look, you got to come back so I can continue to tax you, all right? Okay, now let's go back to where we left off.
This is Revelation 13 and the end of
Yeah, because you read about the one of the heads being wounded to death. That's when Jake came up in there, and Jake ruled really for more than 1,000 years. But the 1,000-year rulership really began with Constantine the Great, when he sat up on the throne and saw that vision of that sword. And what was the in hocs signo vinces, and this sign conquer. All right.
It said, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like unto
the beast? Like I said, is NATO, the EU, and the United States, America. Babylon the Great is a part of NATO. And the dragon is talking about the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago. Go ahead.
Saying, who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies.
The mouth speaking great, we're going to have to go back to Daniel 7. The mouth speaking great things and blasphemies is really Babylon the Great. It's really America, the U.S. Go ahead.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 7. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
That's the Roman Empire.
And it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in his horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
That's America. Go ahead.
It says then, verse 19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows.
Yeah, because the American Edomite thinks they're better than the rest of those Europeans over there. Go ahead.
I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints.
That's why ultimately, with this situation over there in Greece, Greece is getting ready to file for bankruptcy. They're getting ready to go belly up. They've been rioting for about a year so far, and they haven't stopped, and it's destroying the economy. You know? So Angela Merkel and what's the premier of the president of France, Sarkozy, they're talking about bailing them out. You know why? Because once they go down, it's going to follow suit. Because what you have to understand, these 10 horns that we're reading about is now broken up into 27 different smaller nations. So they got to do something to quell it. But eventually, you know what they're going to do? You know who really started all that nonsense? America, the American banks, the international bankers. Based in England, the Rothschilds, number one, the Oppenheimers. And the Oppenheimers, they're older than the Rothschilds. Their money goes further back than the Rothschilds. But the Rothschilds is number one right now that you don't even hear about. But I was watching the financial news, and they even had an Oppenheimer commercial. So that's old money. So they're going to find out these international bankers set up all this stuff with these loans and so forth. Because it tells you in the scriptures, there's what's called a statute of limitation on debt. It's 7 years. It's called a year of release. And then you have a jubilee. Comes up once every 50 years. So when things go out of whack, when that jubilee, when that year of release come up, or that jubilee come up, all those debts are free. You're free from your debt. So you start back with a clean slate. So that's why you have all this turmoil. Because they're not following the Bible. Why? But what does it say? That they're going to blaspheme the Most High's name. They're not following the examples of the scriptures. And eventually, these European nations, Germany, France, all of them, they're going to shoot missiles on this bitch right here. Go ahead.
It says, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them, until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints.
Right, because the Ancient of Days is going to come in this time. So we know that's not talking about the ancient Romans. It said that they made war with the saints. When did that start? That started during the period of the Renaissance, the rebirth. Why they called the rebirth? Because at one time they were in power. They knew their history that they were in power. They died and they were reborn again. That's why they called it the Renaissance. To take down all the dark images and put up images of themselves. To take down the jakes that's sitting on thrones and put themselves on thrones. So right there, if you're reborn, that means you had to be dead. Go ahead.
It says, until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the...
So this is getting ready to happen. Go ahead.
And judgment was given to the saints of the Most High.
Who are the saints of the Most High? The Israelites. It didn't say the saints and some of the Edomites and a couple of Elamites and a handful of Hamites and a smidgen of Ishmaelites. It didn't say that. So these, and a side order of Japhites. So these clowns out here that's teaching this madness, you want to listen to them? Go ahead and listen to them, man. Go ahead and listen to False Prophet 666, which Jeremiah, y'all know him as a killer priest. He went out there and they were all on his jock. They were hanging off his jock strap, man. You know, they thought that was the God Almighty that came down. So they, this is, yeah, I'm with my man, a killer priest. How's it, brother? What you doing? And the first thing that came out of their mouth, what about GMS? You got anything to say about GMS? And what did Jeremiah say? What did killer priest say? You remember what he said, brother?
He said, nah, I ain't got nothing to say about them brothers. Them brothers are deep in the knowledge. I ain't gonna say nothing about them.
Okay, now, since he said that, you wanted to hear what he had to say. You wanted words of wisdom to go by, right? So you asked about GMS. He gave you his take on GMS. He said these guys were deep men. So now, are you going to follow us now? Because Killer Priest said so? Because that was a great Killer Priest. All right? Y'all just knew he was going to say something negative, man. You saw that video with Adiala, the retarded monk, all right? Mr. Goodburger himself. And you figured, you saw Jeremiah, Killer Priest, with him, and you figured that, well, we know he gonna have something negative to say about GMS. Well, you got it on your own video. You put it up on YouTube. So you better start following. You better start watching our videos, man. And you better start sending your tithes in. All right. And you better come up under the order. And you better put GMS on your videos. You better GMS West California, whatever the hell you dwell. All right. Go ahead.
It says, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus
the saints are the Israelites. If you go to Revelation 7 chapter, read about the 144,000 and the multitude behind them. That's the kingdom. And all of the multitude behind them, those are the Israelites. Those are our people. Ain't nobody gonna mingle himself. It tells you in Amos in 9th chapter, that the Most High gonna sift the nation of Israel. So he's gonna get out all things that offend. Who offends? Esau, number one, and the rest of them nations. Go ahead.
it says this.
Like, I'm gonna hit you with something. Even my dog knows that them other nations are not right. When I walk my dog and sees Jake, it'll walk by Jake. As soon as it see a Hamite or Edomite, it tries to bite the shit out of the Hamite. Even my woman said that. For some reason, they always going after Africans. Because there's not too many white people around there. For some reason, they always going after. I said, yeah, because they don't have the spirit of Israel on them. Go ahead.
Funky fly spirit. It says, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms and shall devour the whole earth.
The Romans never devoured the whole earth. It was NATO, the EU, led by America. Why do you think they're over there in the Middle East and now they're going into Northern Africa? They want to totally have control of the entire planet Earth. Go ahead.
It says, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak.
The 3 kings represent the Spanish, the French, and the British. Americans had the Revolutionary War against Great Britain or England, the Spanish-American War, and the French-American War. And then you had all those treaties, those broken treaties. You had what was called a Louisiana Purchase, where you had purchased certain land. Like Louisiana was owned by the French, And what happened was y'all purchased the land from the French. That's why it's called the Louisiana Purchase. Go ahead, because back then they bought lands. They're buying lands right now. Greece is going to sell. The only thing they're not going to sell is the what is that called? Acropolis? Not the metropolis. It's Acropolis. I think it's the Acropolis, and there was something else. It's the main place in Greece. Forgive me for not knowing off the top of my head, but I think it's the Acropolis. But they're going to sell damn near everything else in Greece to try to pay off that debt. Another thing y'all got to watch is the financial news, whether it be CNBC or Bloomberg, any of those financial news stations. Go ahead.
It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall.
That's what the meaning of that is. If you want to put a word on that, what he just read is blasphemy. Go ahead.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
And that's what they did, spiritually and physically. Go ahead.
And think to change times and laws.
That's why they getting ready to pass a law. It's getting ready to pass in New York, gay marriage. That's one law among many others that you change. Go ahead.
And there shall be given into his hand until the time and times and the dividing of times. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. Hitherto is the end of the matter. As
it said, all dominion shall serve and obey him, meaning obey the sons of the Most High. All right? Starting with Yahushua, and then us. We're joint heirs pursuant to Romans, the 8th chapter. So all those other nations that we read about, the Persians, the Medes, the Babylonians, the Greeks, and all those other nations under them. An empire means you're a nation, a great nation that's over other nations. So it says all of them, they're going to serve us. We're going to have dominion over all of them. Now let's jump back to Revelation.
Right, back to Revelation chapter 13, verse 6. Verse 4. It says, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth, and
so the 42 months adds up to 3.5 years, which adds up to 350 years. So it's really focusing on the America. That's where the real focus is. That situation over there in Libya, that's really led by America. Even though they're doing it jointly, that's really led by America. Okay? Go ahead, read that again.
It says, and there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven.
Yeah, that's why you got, anytime you go to these churches, you got Edomite portrait of Caesar up there. You got the angels as lily white, pink, pasty white people with blonde hair and blue eyes. And having blue eyes is a defect, all right? Oh, look at them pretty blue eyes. Nah, that's a defect, man. There's something wrong with you, all right? Right, they call it, and if they do get close to the Most High, they'll call his name Yahweh, all right? Now, like I said, the 42 months represent 3.5 years, which represent 350 years when America was established. It really wasn't established in was it 1776 and all that, the independence. It really came into its power beginning in 1620. That's when America started, the so-called pilgrims and the Puritans and so forth. They came in the name of the Lord, which they had a white image of the Lord. That's when it really started. And it ended in 1970. Because when you go to Obadiah, it says, thence will your kingdom come down. So this society has been coming down since 1969, 1970. So you've been going down. Go ahead.
It says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
Read that again.
It says, and all that dwell upon earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
Read that one more time.
It says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him.
All that dwell upon the earth, people that dwell upon the earth, different nations, including Israelites, shall worship him. Go ahead. This system, go ahead.
Whose names are not written in the book of life.
Whose names are not written in the book of life. So who's written in the book of life? The elect. Go ahead.
It says, in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Why would John say that? Because he's talking about the people that put us into slavery. So really, it's referring to these Edomites, because he's talking about these Edomites. Go ahead.
It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb.
This is further focusing on America. It had two horns like a lamb. The two horns represent Republicans and the Democrats. The Roman Empire, you had two systems, two parties, so to speak. The plebeians and the patricians. All right? The plebeians represented the poorer class, which today you have the Democrats. The patricians represent the Republicans, so you can have a better understanding. Go ahead.
And he spake as a dragon.
Read that again from the top.
It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb. And
another thing, a lamb is docile, meek, humble. So when they came over here for so-called religious reasons, right? The Puritans, they came to bring the truth of God and the Bible to America. That's why your universities and your colleges and your school system was set up for what? Religious studies. Go ahead.
And he spake as a dragon.
And the true colors came out that he was a dragon. He spake as a dragon. What does it mean he spake as a dragon? The dragon is referring to the Roman Empire. The dragon was mean and rough. So America started as we're gonna do it the right way. We're gonna be, this is gonna be a Christian nation. But in reality, you're showing your true colors, which is the Roman system. Go ahead.
It says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him.
Who's the first beast before him? The Roman Empire, which is known as a dragon. Go ahead.
And causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
The first beast is who? The Roman Empire. How do you worship the first beast? In the third grade, they teach you Roman numerals and so forth. If you want to learn about botanical system, how the names of different plants and flowers and trees, they have what's called botanical names, which are all either Greek or Romanized names. If you want to study space and the stars, the different stars and the planets are named after Greek and Roman gods. Animals named after certain your musculature, all named after Latin terms, Latin terminology. You want to be a doctor? The terms and learning about the different body parts and the different medications have Latin or either Greek names to it, mainly Latin. Law. You want to get into law? You got to learn Latin. Corpus delicti. Which one? Corpus delicti. Caveat emptor. Latin. What's the other one? Prima facie. That's what I was thinking. Prima facie. First, that's Latin. What's that? Habeas corpus. That's Latin. So this system that you get into is basically goes back to the ways of the ancient Romans, which they spoke what? Latin. Go ahead.
It says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Right, and they first did that when they dropped, what was that, Fat Boy and Little Man on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Then during the time of the Vietnam conflict, they dropped napalm on the people. There's a famous picture of a little Vietnamese girl butt naked with her skin peeled off from the napalm. And they had a song, and they focused on that song in the movie with this guy, Richard Gere, Officer and a Gentleman. When they were running on the beach, the drill sergeant, which was played by Lou Gossett, he was saying that napalm sticks to kids. So that's one of their songs. So they glorify in killing. Go ahead.
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth, by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
In other words, if you don't go by our system, we're going to drop bombs on you. Go ahead.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
And the image is not talking about the image of Caesar Borgia, even though that's part of it. The image is a whole system, the whole Romanized system. The school system is based upon a Romanized system. Like I said, you want to become a doctor, a lawyer, a botanist, an undertaker, whatever you want to get into, those terms, when you get your textbooks, those terms go back to Latin terms. Go ahead.
It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Yeah, that's why they're bombing the hell out of them in Libya and those Arab nations, because they don't want to convert to Christianity. They don't want democracy in their system. That's why they're killing them. That's why they're dropping bombs on them and killing them. Go ahead.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond.
And he caused, read that again.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond.
Small and great, rich and poor, the poor person as well as the rich person, free and bond. We're bond. We represent small, the small. We represent the poor, and we represent the bond. That's why you got a social security number. So it's talking about people. Go ahead.
It says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
And ultimately it's that chip, which they're already instituting that chip. Go ahead.
And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
Yeah, because these newer cars, me and this other brother went into a Ford dealership to get a key made, and we were looking at the newer cars like the 2011 Ford Taurus. I mean, it looks like a spaceship on the inside, and there's not a entry for a key. Basically, you use your finger. And the technology is, it goes by your fingerprint, biometric. Now, if you want your wife to drive the car, you override your fingerprint, so it recognizes your fingerprint and her fingerprint. So if anybody else goes in there to put their finger there, the car won't start. So they're showing you how to, so that the next thing is the chip. That's the next thing. Go ahead.
It says, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 666.
And what is it? You have the paper. The last number is stigma, which is Greek for 6. I'm going to let the brother read it. And we went through this before. Go ahead.
This is stigma, because the number of the beast is chi psi stigma. That's 666. And then the last number, which is 6, is stigma. It says stigma, a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name of the stamp or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods.
Yeah, so that hasn't changed. So they're actually going to actually put an imprint in you. Like the word mark, the word mark in the from the Greek is charagma, which means an imprinted mark, or imprinted mark in your hand, or imprinted stick in your hand. So the same thing with stigma. The number 6 is a Greek, from the Greek stigma, and 6, by the way, that's where you get the word sex. That's where you get the word scissors. 6, sex, and scissors is the same word. It means to cut. All right. Is that it on that?
Yeah, that was
All right. That's it on Revelation 13, right? Okay, now let's go to the next chapter. Yep.
Revelation 14:1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of the harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the 4 beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000.
Yeah, that's why you see Jakes when we speak, they'll walk by to be in the military, they'll walk by, Esau walk by, Jake come up and try to figure it out, and they can't get it because they're not part of the 144,000. So the song is this truth, the knowledge of this truth. What we're teaching you every week and on the highways and the byways, we're singing that song. Now go from there to Matthew's 11th chapter. You know where I went in the market. The market, it's around about the, I believe it's 19, it's right around there. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 11, verse 16. But whereunto should I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows and saying, we have piped unto you, and you have...
That's us. We're calling unto our fellows. Who are our fellows? Our fellow saints, our fellow Israelites, when we go into the marketplace, which is the highways and the byways. Go ahead.
And saying, we have piped unto you, and you have not danced.
Right. When we go down there, these jakes, at one time, at Israel was a big thing. Everybody was in Israel. That was a thing to get into. But then it faded with Jake. You know when Jake gets into this? When all hell started breaking loose. If something major happens, then they're gonna be looking to go back to them YouTube videos and let me go. I gotta go to this camp and I gotta go to that camp. They're gonna be looking for they're gonna be looking for the men of the Lord to get the scoop, so to speak, the new news. What's gonna happen next? Go ahead.
It says, "We have mourned unto you, and you have not lamented. For John came neither eating."
In other words, we came unto you with a truth, and you were supposed to react in a positive manner to this truth. What's a positive manner in the way you're supposed to act? You're supposed to come to this truth. That's why Solomon, give me that in Solomon, was that Solomon, Song of Solomon, the 8th chapter, if I'm not mistaken? He said the same thing. What verse you going to start at? Is that the one where it says we went out in the streets? There's one that said we went out in the streets? Give me that one first. Give me that one first and then go to Song of Solomon 8.
Songs of Solomon chapter 3 verse 1. By night on my bed I sought him whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. I will rise now and go about the city in the streets.
Go about this. So this is a guy, and that, you know what? How I came into the truth? I actually looked for the truth. I said, what's the truth? And I used to walk in the city looking for the truth, and I found it. I literally did that. The way Solomon is writing it. I actually walked around looking for the truth. But
I will rise now and go about the city in the streets and in the broadways. I will seek him whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. The watchmen that go about the city found me.
The watchmen that go about the city found me. We're the watchmen. That's why you're supposed to be out there on the highways and the byways. So when one of the elect walked by, he's looking for the truth, like I did at one time. He's going to stumble across the watchman. And the watchman is going to lay the truth out to him. Go ahead.
To whom I said, saw ye him whom my soul loveth? It was but a little that I passed from them, but I found him whom my soul loveth. I held him and would not let him go until I had brought him into my mother's house and into the chamber of her that had conceived me. I charge thee, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, by the roes and by the hinds of the field, that you stir not up nor awake my love till he please.
That means, you know what that means? That means once you get this truth, you find out that the white man is an Edomite and he's a devil, you might want to go out and start killing devils. Well, you're not supposed to do that. All right, that's why it said, wake him not up until he be pleased. In other words, this is the Most High is going to come down and do the work. He's going to cause the angels to sound the trumpet, so to speak. Now let's go to 8.
Songs of Solomon chapter 8 verse 1. Oh, that thou wert as my brother that sucked the breast of my mother.
Who are the breasts of your mother? These scriptures.
When I should find thee without, I would kiss thee. Yea, I should not be despised.
We shouldn't. When we bring you this truth, Jake bucks up. What you talking about, brother? You mean the white man can't make it? No, that's not Esau. That's a Japhet. They Japhet. You mean to tell me we can have more than one woman? No, I ain't with that. Well, I got scriptures from the Quran that I can mix with it, and we can get there. No, we ain't dealing with that. Go ahead.
I would lead thee and bring thee into my mother's house.
And then you got guys that receive the breast. Instead of sucking on the breast, they trying to bite the nipple off. You know, guys that receive the truth and say, well, look, I went through Revelation 9th chapter, and that locust is talking about real locusts, and I ain't budging. Go ahead.
I would lead thee and bring thee into my mother's house. Who would instruct me? I would cause thee to drink of spiced wine of the juice of my pomegranate. His left hand should be under my head, and his right hand should embrace me. I charge you, O daughter of Jerusalem, that you stir not up, nor awake my love until he please.
He said that again the second time. Once you get this truth, you can't go crazy with the truth. You can't bug out with the truth. You can't go around knocking people out with the truth or driving running over Edomites. You got to wait until the Most High comes down and do what he does. All right? Go ahead.
Back in Revelation 14 and 3. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn the song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth.
That's why you got that video, Tyrone Nigrams pays GMS a visit. When we sung song, he tried to sing the song, but he couldn't sing the song, so he tried to come with his own song, and you don't see him no more. Go ahead.
His song was wrong. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which...
And by the way, that term women is talking about philosophies. Islam is one woman. Christianity is another woman. Roman Catholicism, and then you got the Mormons, you got the Jehovah's Witness, you got the Seventh-day Adventists. You know, you got economics. You got Buddhists, you got democracy and republicanism. You got all these different beliefs, so to speak, those are other women. You got to get with this woman. Go ahead.
It says, these are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth.
Oh, hip hop. That's another woman. Go ahead.
These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High.
Yeah, so we're without fault. Why? Because the Most High cleansed us. The Most High made us whole. Get me Psalms 51 and start from the very top. Go ahead.
Psalms 51 and 1. Have mercy upon me, O Most High, according to thy loving kindness. According unto the multitude of thy tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from mine iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against thee only have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. Behold, I was...
That thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and might be clear when thou judgest. So you can't bring charge against us, because the Most High made us whole, made us clean. That's all. Is there more to that? Go ahead.
It says, Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, thou desirest truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden parts thou shalt make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow.
All right, now let's go back to where we left off.
Back in Revelation chapter 14, verse 5. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear the Most High, and give glory to him. For the hour...
Yeah, so those nations and kindreds and tongues is talking about Israelites, because you can't tell Esau to fear the Most High. He don't fear the Most High. He's trying to pass that law for gay people to get married. Go ahead.
Saying with a loud voice, Fear the Most High, and give glory to him. For the hour of the judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
What's the wine of the wrath of her fornication? Her democracy, her false Christianity, her homosexuality, all that nastiness. Let me say. Hey, go ahead. All that naughtiness. Go ahead.
And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead, or...
And like I said, those Arabs over there in the Middle East, they fighting like hell not to receive this man's society, man. Then these devils went over talking about to the people of Iraq, you should pay us for coming over there and getting rid of Saddam. Listen, man, you can go to hell with that bullshit, man. This devil got some nerve, man. Go ahead.
If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead, or in his...
And like I said, the word mark, worshiping is one thing. Being a part of the system, but the icing on the cake is when you receive that mark. And the mark is a physical thing. When you look up the word mark, it's from the Greek word charagma, which means to put an imprinted thing in your hand or on your forehead. So it's an actual physical thing. Because you can worship them, but the actual... The ultimate thing to do is to receive that physical mark. Go ahead.
Or in his hand. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture.
That's when the missiles are shot on this place. That's when the Lord come back in his ship and shoot lasers on this place. Go ahead.
And to the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels. And in the...
What does it mean he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels? Because if it's talking about hell, I can picture this. You down there in hell, right? You see people burning, and you got bleachers. You got like 1,000,001 bleachers, right? And you got angels sitting down there eating popcorn, watching you, with their legs folded, watching you get burnt in hell. You got a program. What's going to happen next? Okay, the gargoyles are going to come out. Yeah, I want to see this. That's not going to happen. The presence of the angels mean when this society goes down, the angels are going to be above beaming us up, and they're going to be watching. They're going to be watching this destruction too. Now, even this clown, Nate Satan, the newest video that he made, what's the name of it? You can go to YouTube and go to Israel United in Christ. No. Just go to YouTube. You went to another. Just go to YouTube, the main page. Just click on YouTube, and the box. Just put Israel United in Christ, And don't put his picture up because he might get this video deleted. Because he's mad at us, man. See, all that nonsense that he was teaching, he should really thank us, mainly Yahweh Shem Yahushua and us, because he was teaching that nonsense. Now he's trying to get bold in this thing. Why? Because of us, because the Most High set us up, you know? Yeah, click on that, and the newest, right, and he goes all into showing the missiles and don't put it up too loud, he might bring this. But anyway, he's trying to go bold now about the destruction, and he's talking about Esau. When you watch this thing, I watched some of it. When you watch this thing, he's talking about who did that? The white man did it. Then he shows a part where there's the nuclear destruction and all that. So he's trying to come back to his senses. All right? Hey, go ahead. There's him in Aesop. Go ahead.
And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the...
Well, I got to say about the brother that's reading, he got a humble look. You know what I'm saying? He got a humble look. All right? Go ahead.
It says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is a page.
Yeah, so Israel's going to die in that too. They're going to get jacked up too. But they're coming back in a reincarnation from the elect that made it, the 1/3 that made it, that makes it. Go ahead.
Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High.
Wait, it says the patience. You got to wait for this thing, and it says you got to keep the commandments. You just can't be a nigga with a Sweetwater suit and no hair on your damn face and a bald head. And another thing, you guys out there be balding your head, man. Don't be putting no razors on your head, man. All right? And make sure you grow your beard. That's part of keeping the laws. Go ahead.
Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushua. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Right, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and on his hand a sharp sickle, and in his hand a sharp sickle.
Right now, you go to Revelation 19, you go to Revelation 6, he's on a horse. In Revelation 19, it says he had many crowns. All right? Basically, the cloud that he's coming on is those ships along with the angels. He's not going to be on the actual horse that looks like Pegasus. Go ahead.
It says, and another angel came out of the temple crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle.
That power over fire is an actual angel, because you have departments in heaven. You have certain angels that are in charge of things. Just like the Roman Catholic Church have these patron saints. You have the patron saints of animals, the patron saints of money, the patron saint of the police. Well, they got that from the scriptures. So you have angels up in heaven that have certain offices, top offices. Like you have one angel that's in charge of the nuclear destruction, man. He's in charge. Read that again.
It says, and another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of the Most High.
So who are the grapes? Esau. And he's number one, Esau, and these other nations. And some of the 2/3. All right? Now give me the book of Isaiah, the 63rd chapter, and start from the top. And then from there, go to Matthew, the 13th chapter, and the 38th verse. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 63, verse 1. It says, Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me.
That's how the Lord's going to bring salvation. salvation is going to be a bloody, bloody day, man. Because there's going to be certain people that's going to be delivered, and the people that remain on the earth, they're going to be slaughtered, man. Let's go back to where we left off. Matthew 13, verse 38.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 38. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world.
So with that, we're going to take a short intermission. Yeah, we're back from brief intermission. Let's go back to where we left off.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 38. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send...
Yeah, what world is it talking about? Because there's no record of the Roman Empire being jacked up by fire, by fireballs, just totally. There's no record on that. This is referring to now, what's getting ready to happen. Go ahead.
The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which...
Yeah, that's those Edomites, the 2/3 of Israel, and the other nations. Go ahead.
And them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing.
Now, you know the angels are not going to take no big gigantic furnace and throw them in. This is parabolic. That's why Esau can't get this book, because this book is not written in the way that they should understand. This is parabolic. The big furnace represent those missiles destroying them. Go ahead.
There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father, who hath ears to hear.
Who are the righteous? And it said they're going to shine forth. You're going to know an Israelite in the kingdom when you see it, when you see him or her. Give me Daniel 12. The key point is around about the 3rd verse, but start at the very top, so you can see that it's talking about the same thing. What the elder just read in Matthew 13 is the time of Jacob's trouble, is the end of this thing. When Michael comes, that's simultaneously, that's when the Lord comes. Go ahead.
This is Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people.
That time is talking about something that's getting ready to happen very soon. The destruction of this society. Go ahead.
And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation.
And you're seeing it on the financial news, on CNN. This riot that's been going on in Greece for about a year, maybe a little over a year. It hasn't stopped. It hasn't slowed down. And then you got riots and revolutions and little mini wars, I'll say, going on all around the world. And the U.S. military has their hands in all of these little wars, one way or another. And the whole world knows that. Go ahead.
And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation.
It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And what's happening over there in Greece is coming to America. All right? Like I said, I think it was last week on not Carvel show, on Imus in the Morning show, about maybe 2 weeks ago. He had a guest named James Carville, which he's a Democratic strategist, and he worked close with Bill Clinton during his administration, and they let him on those different talking head shows, and he basically said things are not going to get better in this country, and if it stays this way, he said even if things got better, he said even if things went back to pre 2008 levels, you're still gonna catch hell. And he said he don't see things getting better. And he said don't be surprised, very soon you're gonna have civil unrest in this country. And then Imus pull his wire rimmed glasses off, and then they cut it. All right, you'll see it. You'll see it coming up.
Figure on that one.
Yes,
But unemployment's at 9.1%. Newsweek and the Daily Beast just did a poll. They found that there's a rising level of anger, as they describe it, with people around the country. Gas, grocery prices are out of soaring. The new housing market's crashed. And you all famously said when Bill Clinton ran, that the economy's stupid. It's going to be the same this time, isn't it?
It is. And look, I don't think anybody, if 54,000 new jobs is the new standard, it's going to be a very, very rough 2012 for President Obama. But the 3-month average was 160. If that's the case, then he'll do okay. So I can't tell you what's going to happen, but if this last jobs number is an indication of future job numbers, it's going to be very, very rough. But the other side is they don't have too much over there. Why don't they pitch so far? I guess they'll get better.
I made not an original observation, but one of the things I did think he had going for him, I didn't vote for him, but that's irrelevant. But the observation I made that he would have going for him is that even people who didn't vote for him, have begun to think of him as the president. You know how there's a break-in time when.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, man, if these numbers, as you just said, if they're like they are in November, as they are today, I don't see how he wins. Do you?
Well, it's going to be very difficult. But the country, if that's what we're doing, this is gruesome on people. This unemployment rate for this long is a humanitarian crisis of the first magnitude. And this financial crisis, and people that study this, by the way, know that these things take this long to work their way through. The aftermath of these things, as in kind of an academic book that's kind of dry, it's entitled "This Time is Different," and of course, what the authors concluded is it is not different this time. And they studied the aftermath of these financial crises, and what we're going through is eminently predictable. But this is a terrible thing that's happened to people's lives, and I think the president at one level understands that, but he's kind of limited what he can do. So we'll just have to see. But it's going to be hard. If 54,000 jobs a month is the new norm, this is going to be very, very tough. However, some people say that might be just one more thing. We don't know.
And this Newsweek poll found that it not only was affecting the way people thought about their jobs, whether they had one or not, but it was affecting things like their sex drive.
Absolutely. There's a work. We just did a poll, Democracy Corps. 44% of the respondents, either them or somebody in their house, had taken a pay cut in the last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have. If you're 50 years old and you're providing for your family and you've been out of work for a year and a half, you're not the same person. This is the tragedy of unemployment. It's the real tragedy of unemployment. And a lot of people like that. And there's not much, even if the economy comes back, the prospects of a lot of people finding a job are not good.
They're blaming God.
Look, people. This is again a humanitarian, and you're smart enough to see this. And people, if it continues, we're going to start to see some civil unrest in this country. I hate to say that, but I think it's eminently possible.
Talking with James Carville here on the Anderson Morning Program.
And there shall be a time of trouble, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of
It said that people shall be delivered. That people is all Israel, right? But he emphasized everyone that's written in the book. So not every one of you is written in the book. The ones that are written in the book is the elect, the 1/3. Go ahead.
And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. This is verse 3 now.
Go to verse 3. I want to look up the word shine. Yeah.
It says, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever.
Right. What does it mean, turn many to righteousness? When we go out there and teach people to come into this truth, we are some of the ones that are turning many to righteousness. All those different GMS camps around the world, GMS Global, why did they call themselves GMS? Because they watched us. So the Most High used us to turn many of them, to turn all of them to righteousness. If we didn't take that action, which by the way, that action we did that action because it was the Most High that put the spirit on us, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, to put the spirit on us to perform this action, to have them turn to righteousness. So now they're performing that action, and they're having many turn unto righteousness. All right?
Yeah, the Hebrew word there for shine is zahar, which means to admonish, warn, teach, shine, send out light, be shining, to be taught, to be admonished, to warn, to teach, to warn, to shine, send out light, to shine, to be bright, to make, to shine. Yeah, that's.
The Most High made us shine and use us to make them other brothers shine. And it says to warn, and it says to admonish. Now the word admonish is like a father going to his son saying, don't touch that no more. If you touch that again, you know what I'm going to do. And he already knows based on experience, he touch it again, he going to get that board or he gonna get that strap, or he gonna pull the belt like a Zorro. You know, your father, you had a thing with one hand, you go, and you hear that, you see the spark at the end of the belt. You know that was your ass. All right. Go ahead.
And they that be
That's the meaning of the term admonish. In other words, I'm giving you a stiff warning. Do it again, and it's gonna be on. Go ahead.
And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
And this book is still sealed to a lot of these Israelites out here that's teaching this madness. They don't have it all right. You have to have it 100%. All right? Okay, now let's go back to where we left off. Revelation, yep.
Revelation 14 and 20. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. Revelation 15 and 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass.
You got to read that again.
And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name.
Over the beast, and over his image, and over the mark, and what else?
And over the number of his name.
And over the number of his name. So it's not just Christianity. It's not just worshiping this Roman system. It's actually taking that chip. Because a lot of our people, they're going to take that chip. The 2/3, they're going to take that chip, and they're going to die on this side, right along with these Edomites and these other nations. Now that glass mingled with fire, we're going to be above, that's the firmament. We're going to be above the firmament looking down in the ships, and the fire is going to be those missiles. Go ahead.
It says, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of the Most High, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Lord power.
And it was a woman that actually sung that song when they left Egypt. They were singing about the breakdown. That's about the breakdown of this, right? Exodus 15. And in the song, it says, the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. That was an actual song. All right? Go ahead.
And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of the Most High, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Lord power almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Yeah, because they were singing that song for salvation. So when the elect are delivered out of here, they're going to be singing the same song.
And they sung the song after they got delivered. They didn't sing the song in captivity. In other words, we're singing the song right now. We're singing the song for you to dance to this song and sing along with this song. But when we get delivered out of here, we're going to be singing a new song. We're going to be singing the after effects of Esau's destruction. Go ahead.
Who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy, for all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest. And after that I looked, and behold, the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony in heaven was open, and the 7 angels came out of the temple, having the 7 plagues, clothed in pure and white linen, and having their breasts girded with golden girdles. And one of the 4 beasts gave unto the 7 angels 7 golden vials full of the wrath of the Most High, that liveth forever and who liveth forever and ever. And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of the Most High and from his power, and no man was able to enter into the temple till the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were fulfilled.
And that's it. Let's go to 16. We said we was going to cover 13, 14, and 15. We're going to go to 16. Go ahead.
It's Revelation 16 and 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon men, which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which had worshipped his image.
There it goes again, the mark of the beast, the charagma of the beast. So you're going to suffer these plagues. Go ahead.
And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man. And every living soul died in the sea. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood. And I heard the angel of the waters say, thou art righteous, O Lord, which art and was and shall be, because thou hast judged thus. For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. And I heard another out of the...
In other words, we're going to drink their blood. Are we going to literally drink their blood? No. That means we're going to shed blood on them. We're going to make the blood jump out of them, so to speak.
And I heard another out of the altar say, even so, Lord, power almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments. And the 4th angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. and men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of the Most High.
So that's what these Edomites are going to do when the Most High brings judgment against them. Instead of them repenting, which they can't repent anyway, they're going to talk more mess about the Most High. Go ahead.
Which hath
See, this man is truly the devil. If you can't see this man is not the devil, there's something wrong with you. Go ahead.
it says, which hath power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory.
Yeah, so you know how you think you're going to raise up? You got Bubble-Eyed Blackfish, you got Uncle Ruckus trying to save Esau, and Esau is doing pretty good. They can get up, they can go shopping, they can do what the hell they want to do. Now, when the plagues come on these devils, they're not going to repent either, even when the plagues come on them. Go ahead.
I got something real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. Let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will they not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and not behold the majesty of the Lord.
Now let's go back to where we left off.
Revelation chapter 16 and 10. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongue for pain. And
the seat of the beast represent Babylon itself. Go ahead.
And blasphemed the power of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds.
So when the Most High put hell on them, they still going to blaspheme the name of the Lord. So if you come to this devil in a righteous manner, in a kind manner, they're not going to accept it. If you put hell on them, they're still not going to accept it. Go ahead.
And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates. It says, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth, come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils.
Yeah, the mouth of the false prophet represent the Roman Catholic Church and all her daughters. Go ahead.
It says, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of the power almighty. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments.
Right, he said, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is him that watcheth and keepeth his garments. Keepeth his garments is talking about this knowledge. So you're constantly into these scriptures, and you're constantly watching things on the news, and you're equating these things with the scriptures. All right, read that again.
It says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon.
I want you to look up the word Armageddon, even though I know the meaning of the word, and we broke this word down many a times, but I just want you to go to it again.
Yeah, the Greek word there for Armageddon is Hamageddon, or Hamageddon in the Greek.
7:17, Armageddon. Armageddon.
Which means the hill or city of Megiddo. In Revelation 16:16, the scene of the struggle of good and evil is suggested by the battle plain of Elon, which was famous for two great victories of Barak over the Canaanites and of Gideon over the Midianites, and for two great disasters, the death of Saul and Josiah. Hence, in Revelation, a place of great slaughter, the scene of a terrible retribution upon the wicked. The RSV translates the name as Hamageddon, i.e. the hill, as far as i.e. the hill, as AR is the city of Megiddo. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, you have a hill and you have a great hill, which is a mountain. So the word itself that goes back to the Hebrew, is there where you can click to the actual Hebrew? Is there a Hebrew for it? Because actually, it's not a Greek word; it's a Hebrew word, spoken in a Greek form, I guess you can say. Okay, all it says is it says mountain or hill. So the word, when you break the word down, Hamargadwan means mountain, hill, great hill, mountain. God meaning troop, and one makes it like plural. So it says mountain of the troops. All right, place of the troops. Okay, that's what it means.
Psalms 121:1. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil, he shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore.
Yeah, now he read the very first verse. Read that again.
I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
Now look up the word hill or hills. It should say the same thing. So the word literally means hill, but a great hill is a mountain.
Yeah, the word there is ha, which means hill, mountain, hill, country, mount.
Did you say hill, mountain?
Yeah, it said hill, mountain, hill, country, mount.
So that's what the word means. All right, now let's go back to Revelation 16.
All right, Revelation chapter 16, verse 16. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven, from the throne, saying, It is done. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. And the great city was divided into three parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before the Most High, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent.
Now look at the word talent. A talent is like a great stone, the weight of about 75 to 100 pounds. Now that represents the missiles. Now we know that these missiles are going to be more than 75 to 100 pounds, but he saw these big things that look like rock flying through the sky. So that's what he referred to it as.
Yeah, the Greek word there for talent.
Strong's G